Hello and welcome. I'm going to start a couple of minutes early just to say I am so honored and thrilled you are here taking time out of your busy day, whether you are watching live, hello, or whether you're watching the recording. I just want to say I have such gratitude for you and congratulations. You are already taking the steps necessary to have goals that are going to help you live a better, more bold, more authentic, more beautiful life. Not that your life isn't already magnificent. My name is Petra Kolber, and it is my absolute privilege and pleasure to be the mindset coach for the 90-day Fit Won't Quit challenge. And in addition to that, whether you are doing the challenge or not, these next 45 or so minutes are designed to hopefully, whether you have never set a goal in your life, or if you've set maybe many goals, maybe they were called New Year's resolutions, and felt like, I don't know, I quit the goal or the goal quit me. I am hoping to give you some tips, some strategies, and some insights that are A, going to make goal setting enjoyable, B, going to make the journey enjoyable, and C, make you realize that this is just about you. It's just about being a little bit closer to the person you want to become over the next 90 days or the next year or whatever it means for you. So again, my name is Petra Kolber. I encourage you, please, I'm going to ask you throughout our time together, if you would like to put some notes in the chat. I will respond to you if there's a question or if there's something I say that doesn't make sense. I have been known to do that. Again, please put something in the chat. This is your time. This is your time. So the first thing I want to say is, what are goals? I'm going to start with a quote from Bruce Lee, and this is going to be maybe a strange way you might think to start this time together. A goal is not always meant to be reached. It often simply serves as something to aim at. Say that one more time. This is by Bruce Lee, so he's a master. A goal is not always meant to be reached. It often serves simply as something to aim at. Now, I don't know about you, pilots, when they're driving the plane that we're on, I just came on one yesterday, they are constantly course correcting, but they're course correcting because they have a destination. Your goal is your destination for your life. And throughout your life, because life is what happens to us when we're busy making plans, you are going to constantly be course correcting. So whether you hit your goal perfectly, whether you go surpass your goal, or whether you don't make it, it's irrelevant. Because the most important thing is the person you are becoming along the way. So we've probably heard of this: SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. And that's a great place to start. If we don't have a specific, if we're too vague of a goal, if it's not measurable, how are we going to know how to autocorrect? If it's not achievable, all we're doing is setting ourselves up for disappointment. And then realistic, but I'm going to ask you over these next 90 days, give it a bit of a stretch here, and timely. We are human beings. We like to see that we are succeeding. And I'm also going to encourage you throughout our time together to keep looking back to see how far you've come. One thing, we are in a world where we're constantly reaching for more. There's so much noise coming at us, and we're constantly striving. I'm guessing that you've met many goals in the past, and I also think that more than likely, the minute you get there, you're on to the next thing. So I'm going to ask you to savor a little bit more all that you've accomplished to get to this point in time. And then from this point in time, we can accelerate to the person we have yet to become. This, in our time together, has got nothing to do about changing who you are. It's about becoming more of who you are. And sometimes in our past, because of role models or something that somebody said to us as just off the cuff, we downregulate ourselves. We tamper our goals because if I dream too big, what are they going to think? Or if I dream too big and I don't make it, does that mean I'm a failure? Oh no, my friend. FAIL, first attempts in learning. So, like Bruce Lee said, whether you hit your goal or not, most of them are meant to be, especially if you've got a stretch goal. I actually hope that you miss it just a little bit, because the person you are becoming along the way is what we're looking at and what we're striving for during our time together. So I'm going to be with you through the 90 days challenge. If you're doing the 90-day Fit Won't Quit challenge, you're going to see me 3 times every month. And I'm so honored for your time. And I'd love this to be a conversation, a continuum. I'm not just someone that pops in and then leaves. So really take the time together and take the time for yourself. Take the time for yourself. If you are watching this on the replay, please put your phone down. Unless you're watching it on your phone, please turn off the television. Take this time for you, because goals are just dreams with a timeline. Time for you to dream, my friend. Time to you to dream. So that SMART acronym, I want to think of another SMART too, about what you become or who you become is far more important than what you get, by Jim Rohn. What you get will be influenced by what you become. So that SMART acronym, this is actually in your calendar for this month if you're doing the 90-day challenge. The S, not saying instead of, and, can it be SMART? And then think at the end of this time, you're going to feel successful. M is for measurable at the beginning, and at the end, hopefully you're more motivated as you step into your best possible future. A, at the end of the time, when you look back at the end of the goal that you're going for, let's use 90 days for now, you're going to feel accomplished. You're going to feel a sense of pride, whether or not you hit that goal perfectly, because you showed up for yourself. You're all here. You are busy humans. I know that without a shadow of a doubt. And you show up for everybody else. This is the time to show up for you. It is not selfish, because when you can bring the best you into the world, you are going to be more kind. You're going to be more patient. You're going to be more bold. You're actually going to live the possibility for others that you know. So, and at the end of this time, your 90 days or wherever it is that your goal is, you're going to become more resilient, because goal setting is not a straight line. Goals, our journey, our GPS to that goal, it'll be ups and downs, ups and downs. Life is not a straight line. But the more pride we feel for trying, for showing up, for doing hard things, this is what resilience is. And in this world today, after going through the 2 years of COVID, resilience is something you need both as you set your goals and as you step out into your life. And then T, you're going to be transformed. Whether or not you hit this goal, you are transformed, because each day you show up trying to be the best version of you. It is moving you closer to the person you wish to become. Now, here is not the challenge, but our brain can, when it comes to goal setting, especially if you are someone that tends to set New Year's resolutions. I gave those up many years ago, but we are, every year, right? New year, new you. But if you are someone that tends to set resolutions and in the past you haven't felt successful, I want you to use this space, these 90 days or whatever goal you have, as a space for possibility versus what your brain might be saying is probability. Oh, well, Petra, you've done this a million times before. How many times have you tried to challenge and you haven't succeeded? Or how many times have you, set resolutions and you haven't done that? But how many times have you done hard things? So as we start this time together, I want you to take the best of your past, but don't be dictated from what you might have perceived as failures of your past. Another great quote here is by Michelangelo, and he says, the great danger, this happens with our brain a lot, for most of us lies not in setting our aim too high and falling short, but in setting our aim too low and achieving our mark. One more time, because Michelangelo, another sage. The great danger, this is our brain, right? We'll say, oh, I'm going to set this goal. And then, oh no, who am I to be setting my goal too big? Or, oh, what are they going to think of me? Or let me set a goal that I know I'm going to hit. So one more time. The great danger for most of us lies in not setting our aim too high and falling short, but in setting our aim too low and achieving our mark. So I'm encouraging you, as we spend this time together, stretch that goal. whatever's on your heart right now, can you stretch it just a little bit? Be a little bit uncomfortable, remembering that it's not about that end goal. It's about who you're becoming along the way. Okay, so as we step into our time together, I want you to look back to this past year before we're kind of September, October, November into the holidays. We are in that fourth quarter or that last part, right? We're moving into that last part. I'm not good at football, so whatever sports analogies are not my jam. But we're moving to the end of the year and moving back into fall. We've had the longest day. Before we start, and feel free to put this in the chat or get a pen right now if you don't have one. Please, we have these phones, but I don't want you to write this on your phone. I'm here, I'm not going anywhere. If you don't have the journal, if you can get some paper and a pen, I want you to write this down. And if you're watching this on the replay, you're all going to get the replay. You can pause this if you go through it again. And I want you to write down in this moment, not on your phone, feel free to put it in the chat. What are 3 things you are proud of accomplishing this year already? They may be related to your new goal. They may not be. But what are 3 things you are proud of accomplishing this year? And why do I ask you this? Because when we are setting new goals, we tend to remember all the misses. Our brain loves to look at black and white thinking. I was good or I wasn't. I went to the gym. I'm a good person. I didn't go to the gym. I'm a bad person. I ate this. I'm fit. I ate that. I'm fat. Our brain is so good at black and white thinking. And what happens is we magnify the negative and we minimize the positive. Think about when someone says something that stings a little bit. You remember. Think about it when someone last paid you a compliment. What do? What do I do? We tend to brush it off. So we're going to reverse that and you're going to start by anchoring all that is good in your life. So what are 3 things you are proud of accomplishing this year? Feel free to put it in the chat or please write it down right now. And I'll take a sip of water while you're writing that list. Why do I ask you this? Because this is going to remind your heart, I've done hard things already. Yes, the negativity bias, Natalia. So that what happens is our brain, it's called the negativity bias. They say that negativity sticks to us like Velcro and positivity slides off us like Teflon. Now that is something that kept us alive, kept our ancestors alive. The challenge is, where does that overstep its boundaries in your life? Where does fear overstep its boundaries? Where does the negativity of your past overstep the positivity for your future? So this is just anchoring. Writing down 3 things that you're proud of accomplishing this year is anchoring your new goal in your strengths. It's going to remind your brain and your heart that I've already done this. Now, next question. What are you wanting to accomplish over these next 90 days? What is your goal, your soul goal, your SMART goal? That goal, we're gonna write it down right now, and you might be revisiting what that goal is by the end of these 45 minutes together. What are you wanting to accomplish over these next 90 days? What is that goal? What is that fit, won't quit challenge? What is that drive in you that's going to amplify you moving closer to the person you have yet to become? So think about that goal. It could be weight related, it could be strength related, it could be flexibility related, it might be fitness related, and that's all good. But my question to you is, once you've reached that fitness goal, how will that change your life? How will having more strength change your life? How will having more cardiovascular energy change your life? How will being more flexible in your body allow you to be more flexible in your day-to-day interactions? What is your fitness goal? Whatever it is in fitness and nutrition, how will that impact your life? So if someone comes to me and says, Petra, I want to lose 10 pounds. Great. Why? I want to fit into jeans. Why? because then I'm gonna feel more confident. Okay, great. And then once you feel more confident, what will you do with that? So the 10 pounds, how your body physically changes, yeah, that's a way we see it on the outside. But what was really important is, who are you becoming on the inside? Your confidence, your energy, your vitality, your ability to play for longer time with your kids, your ability to go on that vacation and walk the stairs, go and take a cooking class in Greece and walk up the hill, whatever it might be. Maybe it's having more energy for work. What is your purpose? What brings you meaning? Is it your family? Is it your work? Nothing wrong in that. My work brings me incredible meaning. But can you tie your 90-day Fit Won't Quit challenge goal, or maybe a different goal, into a life goal? How will your life change when you change? When you have more energy, more strength, you've taken control of your nutrition? Because how we do one thing is how we do everything. If we set, this is goal setting for success, correct? And I think many of us, why we don't feel successful is many of us set goals because we think we should. There are should goals versus our want and drive and live goals. When I should, like, oh, I think I should lose weight because yes, your doctor told you because he wants you to be alive, but then once you're alive, what are you going to do with that one wild and precious life? Why do you want to change who you are on the outside? Nothing wrong on that. And I really want it to marry to something that brings you incredible meaning. If it's family, tie that fitness goal to your family. If it's your work, tie that fitness goal to your work. If it's you want to stretch and maybe you're retiring, tie that fitness goal to whatever lights you up every day. Because if you're going, let's say you're going on a trip to Italy, maybe let's say in 3 months, and you want to lose some weight to have more energy, but that goal is, oh, I'd like to lose 10 pounds. That morning when the alarm goes off and you're going to check in to get that t-shirt and you're going to go for that HIIT class, if I'm going, oh, I'm going to go to the HIIT class to lose 10 pounds, But if I'm saying I'm going to go to the HIIT class because I know I'm going to have the energy to go to Italy and walk and do my cooking classes and not feel tired halfway through the day and soak in all that Tuscany has to offer, you better believe I'm going to the gym. You better believe I'm checking in at UFit, because at the end of the day, it's really not about losing the weight. It's about gaining my dream life. It's not about becoming smaller. It's about living a bigger life. So with that, if you have been on to any of my webinars before with UFit, and probably the next two, you will hear me say this a lot. As you set your goals, as you revisit your goals, as you step into the end of this challenge, constantly throughout this challenge, this is such a beautiful exercise. It's called your best possible future story. And it is and you're not probably going to do it now, but revisit this. What I'd love you to do when you have a little bit more time is to imagine your life, let's say 90 days from now. You could even stretch it out a little bit, 6 months from now, 9 months from now. Everything has gone well. Everything had gone well. You had shown up. You got the t-shirt. You're at the gym at least 3 times a week. You are eating well. Not saying perfectly, you are eating well. You're making choices that are in alignment with the person you want to become. What often happens is too, I'm digressing a little bit, but I'll come back to the story in a moment. We make decisions and choices based on who we are right now. But ask yourself, and I struggle with this myself. I've been traveling all over Europe. Can I tell you how much tempting food is out there? And I am going to eat a lot of it, but not every day is going to be a wise choice for me in my best possible future. So instead of asking myself, what does Petra want right now? What choice, what decision is moving me closer to the person I have yet to become? What would the future Petra, Natalia, Robert, Lucia, what would the future me be proud of by me making this choice today? Quick wins or quick wants often lead to long-term pain. Short-term pain, like that denial, like, oh, I really want that cookie, will lead to long-term wins. But coming back to this, I'd love you to think about your life 90 days from now, 3 months, which is 90 days, 6 months, or 9 months from now. Imagine your best possible future. You had shown up for yourself. Your best possible self had shown up more often than not. Not every day, because we're human, right? Ask yourself these 4 questions. Where will you be? Who will you be with? What will you be doing? And how would you want to feel? Your best possible future. So stretch it out maybe a year. Everything had gone well. You had shown up for yourself. You'd been resilient. You'd ridden the ups. You'd pushed yourself to get to the gym, even when you didn't want to. You had made a food choice that was in alignment with your best possible future self. You were proud. You had shown up and you had done it. 4 questions. Where would you be? What would you be? Who would you be with? What would you be doing? And most importantly, how would you want to feel? This is your best possible future. And when we drive our goals in the moment to our best possible future, not perfect, best possible future, that's when the magic happens. So, how do we start? Goal setting for success is finding goals that are in alignment with your best possible future self story. Where do you want to be? Maybe it's on the other side of the country. Maybe it's traveling. Maybe it's right where you are right now, but in a vegetable garden. Maybe it's doing the life that you are right now. But how can you tie your goals to starting you getting closer to the best possible version of you in the future? So with that in mind, I want you to think about this goal. Write it down, please. You could write it in the chat or write it down for yourself. What is the goal that you would like to achieve over the next 90 days? When you do the Fit Won't Quit challenge, and on day 13, when you reach that last day, what is that goal? Because if we just do a challenge, it's great, but it needs to mean something. It needs to light you up. What is that thing that's going to light you up? What is that goal that's going to light you up as you become, I don't want to say more improved because you're awesome right now, but a more energetic, more vibrant version of yourself? What is that goal? Now, for yourself, don't put this in it, for yourself, think about that goal. Take a moment. What do you think about it? You can always change it, but have something concrete. And it doesn't have to be huge, but it's got to be meaningful. And now think about, on the scale of 1 to 10, rate where you currently think you are in terms of that goal. Because you've already, I guarantee you, you are not at the starting block. I know you think you might be. You are probably at least halfway there because of all the great things you've done this past year. Go back to that first list. Remember I said, what are 3 things you're proud of? I would imagine that those things actually marry over into the goal that you're setting right now. So on the scale of 1 to 10, don't put 0, or if you have, cross it out. Think about everything you've done this year so far to get to where you are. And then on the scale of 1 to 10, where do you think you are in terms of this goal? Now, with this goal that you are, your soul goal, that goal that is calling to you, that whispering on your shoulder that just won't leave you alone, and that when you become healthier and more vibrant and you're eating well and having more energy mentally, physically, emotionally, you're going to be more able to enjoy this goal. List a few steps that you have done from this past year that have already contributed to your current progress. List a few steps you've already done. You don't have to have done them perfectly. What are a few things you've already done in your life that are going to contribute you moving closer to this goal? Because what happens is we set new goals and we think we're all the way at the starting line. And we look down the road and like, that's just so far, and we give up. But I'm here to remind you that you've already done so much of this. You can do this. You're already halfway there, I guarantee it. And then it's just coming back constantly over and over again to remind yourself, believe it to be true, and then meet yourself there. The challenge that happens with goal setting is that we focus on the wrong things. We focus on the gap, and we mistake the gap as another statement, another symbol, another proof that, see, that it's just too hard for me, I'm going to give up. But if you constantly keep tapping your focus back to everything you've already done and reminding yourself that to change, it means taking a chance. It means taking a chance on yourself. It means taking a chance on your dreams. It means taking a chance that you are worth it. That taking time for you is not selfish. Actually, it's not selfish. It's almost selfless, because the more of you that you can bring into the world, the more energy you'll have for those that you love. So this is the time not to change who you are, but to take a chance on who you have yet to become. So we're going to go back to that best possible future self story over and over and over again. Each morning, wake up and go, this is where I want to go. This is who I want to become. And I'm going to make constant choices, many, many choices throughout my day that build upon each other. These seemingly minute decisions that over time lead to momentous change. When you tie your fitness and nutrition goals to your best future self story, on those days when you're not feeling or seeing progress, it's going to give you the resilience and the grit to keep going until the metrics show up and keep up with your best possible future. So what often happens is we see this gap, right, of the person we want to be and where we are and where we want to go. And we look at it like, oh, I'm still not doing enough. I'm not keeping up enough. I'm not going enough to the gym. But it simply means you haven't done it yet. So notice when your brain starts to move over again into the negative, right? Remember, maximizes the negative, minimizes the positive. We got to keep flipping that. And it takes work. I say it's the hard work of the hard work. Because your brain, it's not a character flaw. Every single one of us on this call, every single one of us watching this in the replay, we're all in this together. Our brain is a beautiful, complicated, somewhat annoying thing, but it's such a good thing because it's kept us alive. But that negativity is the stronger pull. Negativity is going to pull stronger. So it's our heart work of constantly reminding ourselves that you just haven't done it yet. It's the land of and. It's meaning I'm not this or that. I'm this and I still want to do that. I've worked at that and I still don't know how to do this yet. I've shown up to the gym and I know maybe I could commit a little bit more. I've had a great week at the gym and I can allow myself some relaxation. It's the land of and. We're really good at living in the black and white. We're not so great at living in the gray. So as we start our time together, I want you to look at these next few questions. So we had the SMART acronym, making them specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. SMART. Yes, I think I got it. So I'm going to ask you some different questions, and maybe they will help you realize and connect to your goals in a different way, and maybe light you up a little bit more when it comes to goal setting, or at the end of the year when we're revisiting what we did well in the past year and what we want to bring into the next year, what we want to leave behind, and keep constantly growing, evolving, and thriving. So the first question I'm going to ask you, when you think about a goal, any goal, but this one particular goal, what excites and energizes you about this goal? When you're choosing your life goal that ties into your fitness and nutrition goals, What excites and energizes you? And if the answer is nothing, change your goal. Your goal has to light you up. It's got to, like I said before, it doesn't have to be big, but it needs to be meaningful. Otherwise, who's going to keep pushing you? Definitely, if you can get an accountability partner, yes, because guess what? We show up for others more than we'll show up for ourselves. That's just tried and true. But on those days, who's going to keep pushing you? Your energy, your excitement to keep moving to that best possible future story, that will light you up. But if there's nothing that energizes you, if this goal is just like, oh, well, my doctor told me to, we got to flip that switch somehow. So yes, maybe your doctor did tell you need to lose weight. And then once you've lost the weight, what are you going to do? Are you going to Italy? You're going to play more with your kids? Are you going to take up a new sport? Are you going to go and do photography? What is something that will light you up? Keep digging. If your goal doesn't excite and energize you, keep reframing that goal, keep revisiting, keep coming back. Why? And by that fifth why, you will find something that connects deeply to your heart. Okay, that's the first question. Second question, when have you been successful at a similar goal in your past? Doesn't have to be the exact same goal. And it can be a few years, it could be a couple of decades ago, depending on how old you are. It doesn't have to be immediate. When have you been successful in the past? Because once again, this just reminds your brain, I've done hard things before. Again, reminding you of all that you are, all that you already are. So the first one is what excites and energizes you. Second one is, when have you been successful at something similar in the past? And if you can't think of something similar, think of, when have I done something hard in the past? When have you gotten through a hard, just reminding you, oh, I've done hard things before, I can do them again. I can do anything for 90 days. Okay, next question. What and who is helping you move toward your goal? What is helping you? It's UFit gyms, it's the staff, it's this challenge. What is your trainer? It's the classes that you go to. It's the nutrition that you have here, the guidelines. What and who is helping you move toward your goal? And write it down. Goals are not designed to be done on an island. You have a team. You have this, to have a strong goal and be resilient enough to stay on task, even if you go off a little bit. Remember, it's not a straight line. It's more like this. We all know that success is never this. It's resilience is a pyramid. You're not on your own here. It's the I am, I have, I can. I am. That's everything you have in you. Everything you've looked back, all those strengths from the past that you bring into this moment. I am. I have all the UFit team. I have those people supporting me and cheering me on. I have my friends. I have my accountability buddy. You don't do this alone. That's why we're doing this amazing challenge for you, alongside you, cheering you on. UFit's doing it. I'm just honored to be here as the mindset coach. And then I can. Remember that word? I haven't done it yet. I can, a willingness to say, I will show up even if I don't know what I'm doing. Because you're not alone. None of us know what we're doing yet. But then we show up and we ask our team, our team at UFit, we ask our friends, we ask our accountability buddy to be there for us. And ask for help. This is not designed to be done alone. Okay, life is lonely enough. Goals are designed to be done in community. Then, what or who is in the way of you reaching your goal? Here's the thing, it is so true. When you become close, when you step into a life of your dreams, not comparing it to anyone else's dream. My dream is going to be way different to yours. Yours is going to be different to Susie's, to John's, to whatever. This is your life, your dream. But when people see you actually showing up for yourself, it can be challenging. Because what happens if they're not showing up for themselves? So there may be people that don't cheer you on, that you thought were your champions, that might not be your cheerleaders. Really look at that. And you might want to prune away people in your life that don't support you stepping into your best possible future. And what is in the way of reaching a goal? Is it TV? Is it this thing? We lose hours on our social media feed. We lose hours to our phone. We lose hours to television. What is in the way? And can you get rid of it for a certain amount of time? I will share a story with you because it just came into mind. I think it's kind of relevant. When I was in New York, I found myself watching a little bit too much of Netflix. Nothing wrong with Netflix. I love a good Netflix binge, but not every single day. And so I just knew I didn't have the willpower, which we're talking about next month. I didn't have the willpower to control my television. All of a sudden, it become a little too much, and it was getting in the way of all the things I still had yet to want to accomplish. And so I finally decided to cut my cable. I kept the little antenna. I got like the rabbit's ears. I kept the live channels, but I cut my cable. And when I called up my cable company, this is so true, to say, I want to cancel my cable, but I want to keep my internet. He said, really? He was so shocked. He's like, really? You want to cancel your cable? I'm like, yeah. And he goes, he goes, what are you going to have to talk to people about? What are you going to talk to people about? I was like, that's the best you've got for trying to talk me into cable. So I mean, this is the thing, right? We're like, oh, maybe I don't send out, I won't know the latest show that everyone's talking about. It doesn't matter what is in the way. If it's food, nutrition. I'm not a nutritionist, but I know what it's like if I'm trying to eat well for my energy, because food affects my mood. If I have food in the house that I have to think about, if it's in the house, I have to think about not eating it, it's getting in my way. It's one more decision I have to make that is actually taking down my willpower. More to come on that next month. So then who can help you? Remember, they got that pyramid. I am, I have, I can. All the people over here, you fit gym, your personal trainer, your workout buddies, your fitness instructor, your nutrition, all of that, who can help you? And then helping yourself too. You being your biggest cheerleader. Then last question, what will be your motivation mantra? On those days when you just want to quit, what will you say to yourself? A little soundbite. I can't tell you what that is, but a little something that just reminds you of how important this is to you. A little motivation mantra that will keep you going when you just want to quit. But fit won't quit. And we won't quit on you, and don't quit on your dreams. And quitting doesn't mean that you're never going to have a bad day. But when we're not anchored to the best possible version of we want to become, we're not anchored to a goal that really lights us up, those days that we don't show up, one day's okay, get right back on. But that one day becomes 2 days, don't think of that one day as a failure. Just think, I had a bad day, and get on with it. When we attach too much emotion, too much accountability, like it wasn't a good day, and yes, it wasn't a good day. Tomorrow's going to be different. But when we latch onto that too much, that negativity bias, like, well, I didn't do it today, I'm just going to give up. Being off for 1 day or even 2 days is very, very different to giving up. Atomic Habits, one of the best books I've ever read, just says you can you can step off for 1 day, but no more than 1 day. Right? So we're not asking you to be perfect here, like 7 days a week. Don't do that. We need you to relax and recover and restore and take time, but no more than 1 day at a time. Promise? Yeah, okay, I'll take that as a yes. Okay. One other thing. We tend to do this, right? We'll look at other people's goals. Like, oh, mine are not as big as theirs, or they're more successful than I am. You have no idea of what their past year has been, their 2 years, their 3 years. They've planted all these seeds. Maybe they've been working out for years. Don't compare your beginning to someone else's middle. Social media, don't compare your dream to what is being sold on social media. That's the highlight reel. This is called real life, real dreams, real things that are meaningful to you, and they often don't show up on the social media. So here's the thing I want you to think of. I want you to bet on yourself over the next 90 days. I want you, whenever you're watching this, I want you to bet on yourself. Believe it to be true and meet yourself there. Keep making choices, taking action to the person you have yet to become. What would the future version of you do? Not me today. What would the future version of me do? And make that choice. Don't make your choices based on who you are today, which is an amazing human being, but who you've yet to become. What would that person do? Now, this is up to you. Many times we have a goal, but you know what is very binding is a contract. So if you want, again, you can do this, watch this on the replay, write yourself a self-contract. So what you're going to put on that is you're going to start with today's date. So whenever you're watching this, today is September 13th, or whenever you're watching the replay, put today's date. That goes at the top. And you just simply write, I, your name, I, Petra Kolber, and then you're going to put will, and then you're going to put your goal there. I, Petra Kolber, will, whatever your goal is. Make a little contract to yourself. You're betting on yourself. You are showing up for yourself. Then by the date your goal will be completed. Now, if you're doing the You Fit Won't Quit challenge, it's going to be November 31st. So if you're doing the challenge, write November 31st. And then we'll come up with, whether you hit the goal out of the park, you make a new goal, or maybe you didn't quite make it. We do a continuum. This is not a pass or fail. This is a journey. So let's go back. Here's the self-contract. Today's date, whatever it might be. Today is September 13th, or whenever you're watching this. There's the date. Your name. I, Petra Kolber, will, you write your goal, concise, be really concise, make it measurable. By November 31st, because, this is what you're going to write down, I'll go slowly now, because doing so will help me move toward being the person I want to be, or words to that effect. Because doing so will help me move toward being the person I want to be, someone who, and then write down your personal reasons for wanting to make this change. Someone who shows up for themselves, someone who takes care of others, someone who keeps promises to herself, himself, someone who is not afraid of making big, hairy stretch goals. Who is that person? Who is that person that you want to become? What are their attributes? What are their strengths? And write them down. So in that contract, because doing so will help me move toward being the person I want to be, someone who ... What do you do? What does your best possible future do? And then you sign it. But then we're not done. Upon completion, I will celebrate or reward myself by. What are you going to do to treat yourself? We sure beat ourselves up when we don't do something. But when do you treat yourself? When you do something. Take that t-shirt and what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? Where are you going to? Are you going to do a pedicure? Are you going to do a massage? You're going to do a trip with your loved one? You're going to go out for a day trip with your kids? What is it you're going to do? It's time to reward yourself. Because my friend, congratulations, because you have already started by showing up and spending some time here. Whether we were live, whether you're catching me on the replay, I want to say congratulations, because life is busy. But you've taken the time to go, there's still more I want to do. There's still more I want to become. I'm not done yet, and I hope you're never done. And what is your first step? What is the first thing you're going to do when this video goes off, or you wake up tomorrow, depending on when you watch this? What is your first step to committing to this goal? And write it down. And then complete that step. And then you do the next step. And then you complete that step. It's small, small, small steps, micro decisions, micro choices over time that nobody sees. Then that's where you need the resilience, because no one's going to be cheering you on until they see that overnight success. I can't believe how much energy she has. I can't believe you look so well, so vibrant, so healthy. But they didn't see the hard work. So what is the step? What is the mantra? How are you going to keep showing up for yourself over and over again? Because I believe there is no such thing as failure. My whole thing is, I want you to live a life of your dreams versus leave this life with regret. Goals are just dreams with a timeline. They're that GPS, that true north to keep you moving forward to a bold, beautiful, brilliant life that every single one of us here deserves to live. With energy, with vitality, with grace, with joy, and without beating ourselves up on the days that maybe we miss, that we don't show up. We are human. Life is not about being perfect. Life is about doing the best that you can each and every day, and each and every day is going to be different. So with that, I say thank you. Thank you for the gift of your time. If you're watching this live and if you have any questions, please put it in the chat right now. Otherwise, I must say thank you. You are amazing. You showed up for yourself. You gave yourself this time. You gave yourself permission to want more. Remember, this is not about changing who you are. It's about becoming more of who you are, stretching your goals, stretching your dreams, stretching your belief in yourself. And you fit, all of us here are here to support you every single step of the way. So go and check in, get the t-shirt, and then wear that t-shirt throughout the day as you step and reward yourself for showing up for yourself. Thank you so much for the gift of your time. My name is Petra. I'll be back at the end of this month with a Q&A, see if any questions that you have, and then back almost this time next month talking about willpower and motivation to keep you going for the long game. Thank you again. Have an amazing day. And remember, the best way to predict the future, your best possible future, is to go out and create it. Thank you so very, very much.